Another blue light skincare scam. Or is it? Let's look at the science. Let's actually try the product. And let's speak about what's going on in the world of basically TikTok versus Twitch, and why influencers seem to keep getting away with the scammy, suspicious things. So what are we talking about? Well, Addison Rae, a very prominent TikToker who is gorgeous and talented and seems to have lots of fun on the app, has a brand called Item Beauty. She's had it for a while, and it's no secret that it's created in partnership with other companies such as Ipsy. Now, the whole hoopla is about this blue light protective product that she recently launched and has been getting major backlash with online. So bad, in fact, that a foreign retailer actually pulled this product from their shelves for misleading claims. Sephora in France actually pulled this from their shelves completely due to the controversy with Valkyrae. Now, Addison Rae and Valkyrae are very different, but Valkyrae just came under fire for something very similar. You may have seen James Welch's tweet, you may have seen Lab Muffin Beauty Science's TikTok, or you may have seen Valkyrae willingly pull herself from the entire blue light skincare brand Reflect. As a little bit of a rewind, Valkyrae, this Twitch streamer, came out with a blue light protective brand, a skincare brand that protects from blue lights from screens. And she's openly stated that she's not a chemist. So when she started learning more things, when her audience started speaking up, she was listening. And at the end of the day, she didn't feel comfortable putting her name on this line after what she had found. And so she willingly backed off, pulled away, and said, not doing it. Now, some people were pissed about this, another influencer pulling another scam. But on the flip side, she is admitted to not being a chemist. Was she being taken advantage of by people in the industry who knew a bit more? For instance, the Reflect brand was created by Ideovation Labs, whose CEO came from Avon, an MLM marketing company. A bunch of amazing content creators have covered the Valkyrae story, but back when it first happened, these were my thoughts. I think it is very honorable to not put your name on something that you don't 110% believe in. There's enough brands in the world, there's enough things going on, right? And each person may have a special sauce or a reason of their own. All of that being said, if it's not being done for the right reasons, why should you do it at all? Addison Rae launches blue light Item Beauty product. Valkyrae doesn't even launch Reflect and backs off of it, but gets major ridicule. That's so scummy! Stop it! Is kind of how the industry seems to be responding. But what's actually going on behind the scenes here? What's actually going on inside of the product? Because there are a few interesting things about the influencer industry, about how this stuff works behind the scenes, and how there's literally a marketing level of specific ingredients that can be used to make a certain claim. But there's also the science of blue light and how blue light actually works on skin. Hint, hint, it might actually be helpful. Hello, LED light therapy. And about how this product doesn't even prevent high energy blue light from hitting your skin. And neither did this one. But again, at least Valkyrae kind of backed off from that whole thing and made a public statement about learning more and not wanting to be involved. Valkyrae was actually pretty surprised to see what happened when Addison Rae launched this, and she even said in a tweet that she was considering changing her last name. When it comes to all of Item Beauty, Addison Rae did not create Item Beauty. Public knowledge, and it's been shared multiple times in publications like Women's Wear Daily, it was no secret that it was created by Ipsy and Medibi Collective. You might know Ipsy as Michelle Phan's company, and it is a fantastic one. They not so secretly work on, formulate, and create different beauty brands that either go into the market or have an influencer put their name on them. And that's normally how celebrity and influencer line works. Valkyrae, Addison Rae, Riri, these people are not chemists. They are not formulating these by hand, but they can partner with chemists and dermatologists and experts to make something amazing that they love. Now, what's the difference between a Fenty Skin and an Item Beauty? It seems like Riri put a lot more passion, time, and decision-making into her line with Kendo, versus Addison Rae's Item Beauty was created not specifically for Addison. And again, I know some things behind the scenes, but this is all public knowledge. Item Beauty was one of those lines that an influencer could put their name on. And yes, they have cosmetics and skincare. Even look at Bad Habit, which is arguably a really good line from Emma Chamberlain. It's made with Morphe, just like James Charles's makeup palettes. These aren't the creators becoming chemists. They're using their influence in either a positive influence way or a negative influence way to drive sales for these companies and to line their own wallets. And this is not exclusive to Addison Rae or Emma Chamberlain. This happens all across the industry. There's something called a base formula that almost every single manufacturer manufacturer has. And anyone can go in there. You don't have to be a chemist. You don't have to be an influencer. You can literally walk in there, buy a set amount of them, and customize them with your own scent or with your own active ingredient. But they are these pre-made formulas that you just kind of add something to. Think of it as like the Betty Crocker cake mix, and you're just deciding to add some chocolate chips into the mix before you bake it. And then once it's done baking, you package it differently. So, you put your own little cupcake liner on it. And when it comes to this situation, I don't think that Addison Rae knows better. She's not a chemist. She's not a light physicist. And even though Ipsy is very talented, and I will say they have some fantastic skincare lines and brands, not all of the brands that they create are exactly equal. And a lot of products, whether it's Item Beauty or anywhere in the industry, they all have these marketing claims. And we hear Addison regurgitating a lot of them when she's making this commercial. This is not unusual. The active! And they don't know how to pronounce the ingredient. They don't know what it does, but they're just kind of reading off this script. And that's because if someone is not dedicated to this subset of an industry, we can't expect them to know or care about these things on a deeper level like an expert in that field would. And that goes from everything from makeup and skincare to fashion to TanaCon. Okay, I'm pretty sure we all remember that. Oh yeah. Some of the claims that she specifically says are helping fatigued skin, which Dr. Dustin Portella did a fantastic video speaking about the fact that there is no clinical backing to what that means, and he actually has no idea, as a board-certified dermatologist and Mohs surgeon, what the f that means.
First off, she says that the blue light on our phones can cause something called skin fatigue. I don't know what skin fatigue is, and I'm a dermatologist. That's not a term that is clinical in any way. That's not a diagnosis that we give patients. Skin fatigue is a made-up term strictly for marketing in this instance. So skin fatigue is not real. It's only for marketing. Don't purchase this product because you think you have some new diagnosis that a marketing agency came up with.
She also speaks about how it's clinically proven, which yes, I'd like to see more about that because as Dr. Dustin said, could be something as basic as, here's the paper, how did it work for you? All the way from actually doing trials and studies. But what I find absolutely hilarious about all of this is that in the commercial, they're subjecting these beautiful models to literally the blue light that they're saying they're going to protect against. Like, look at this, they're shining blue LED lights on these gorgeous models as they're talking about the dangers of blue light. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the dangers of blue light because there are some things that are not being discussed. This product is being sold for $20 to protect against blue light, but there are products that exist on the market that are being sold and purchased for $400 that are literally shooting blue light at the skin. This is LED light therapy. And yes, I am testing this one out on my own face from Dr. Dennis Gross, but there are many other ones. Blue light therapy is something that I have used both as a patient who had acne in dermatology offices and as well as a medical esthetician. It's something that I help other people with when I have access to it in clinic. And the big LED light panels, yes, they are thousands, like $8,000 to $16,000 for the big ones. And the ones at home you can get for $500. You can get some for less. There's one that I love from Dermabeam for $120. But the way that these work is by literally shooting blue LED light at the skin to help with acne. Now there is red light for inflammation, there are green lights and white lights and things for other settings, but it's been shown in multiple studies and analyses and reviews that LED light seems to help for acne, and specifically the blue light at certain wavelengths is helpful for skin. Now, if that is true, and if we've used it for so many years, and if it's used by doctors and derms, then what is all of this talk about this high energy blue light, and why is it so concerning? Is there any need to be concerned? From our screens, probably not, but there is a subset of people who might want to be more aware of this. And those are people who have hyperpigmentation or very reactive skin. If you're someone who has struggled with melasma, if you've struggled with sunspots and pigmentation from being in the sun, high energy blue light might also contribute to that. But then we have to ask, okay, where are we getting this high energy blue light? Well, we're getting most of it from the sun. Lab Muffin Beauty Science did an amazing video speaking about how much light you would have to get from a MacBook at full light, like looking at a screen, and you'd have to stare at that screen for like 30 days to get the same amount of blue light that you would from just going outside. The sun is the #1 producer of high energy blue light. And what does it produce even more of? UV rays, the UVA and UVB rays that we know cause skin cancer and aging and hyperpigmentation and other issues. When we actually look at this beautiful electromagnetic spectrum, do you see how small visible light is on this entire spectrum? Look at the UV section. The UV section is so much larger, and that's because there is more UV hitting our skin and damaging it every single day. So we know that UV is different than blue light, but if we are concerned about blue light, what are we supposed to do? Well, we'd actually have to protect against blue light. And that means using literally thick, pasty, iron oxide-y pigments. We basically have to plaster our face with that white stuff that we hate sunscreen for. However, a lot of influencers are selling us these blue light products, but they're not even protecting against blue light. These are basically formulas of hydrators and antioxidants. Now, it is true, antioxidants are great for the skin. It's literally an antioxidant, preventing oxidation. And when certain wavelengths of light hit the skin, or when pollution hits the skin, it can cause these free radicals to damage our skin, to cause irritation, etc. So yes, using an antioxidant cream or a hydrator, in general, it's good skin advice to make sure that your skin is supported, to have those free radicals being quelled by that antioxidant. And we have an entire video diving into this if you really want the skin science behind it. But as far as this goes, Addison Rae, even Valkyrie's old line, or any other blue light brand is literally selling antioxidants, not even to prevent against damage from blue light, but just to say, oh, your skin is better with it than without it. If they actually wanted to protect us against blue light, they would actually be creating and selling us things that block or reflect or refract actual blue light. And in order to do that, they would have to be these pasty messes. And no one's gonna buy that, which is why these brands aren't even selling them. And again, if we go back to our electromagnetic spectrum, blue light is a sliver of the visible light spectrum, which is still less than the UV light spectrum. That means that if you're not applying your sunscreen and reapplying it, get your priorities in check first. That is going to be way more important than any blue light support. But again, I don't think Addison Rae or a lot of the other influencers who are pushing these things know this. I think that they are relying on specific companies who are seeing consumer trends, who are seeing our screen time literally be 14 hours a day, and they're saying, people are concerned about this. There's a sliver of a fraction of a concern that we can blow out of proportion. Everyone is using their phones, and it is actually causing issues in the way that our brains process our sleep-wake cycles, our circadian rhythms. Let's just extrapolate this to skincare, because beauty products have usually a 10x markup, whereas other products in the industry don't have markups that high. Did you know that beauty had a 10x markup? That's right. Something that costs you $10 probably costs less than $1 to make. And something that costs $100 normally costs around $5 to formulate and to actually create. And if you didn't know, we got more videos on that. And now you know. So the antioxidants and hydrators in these blue light products can be skin supportive, okay? They can support a good skincare routine, but they're not blocking against the UV light. So then what's actually in this product, and does this product actually work? I have a hypothesis, I have an idea of how this is going to go, but I actually want to test this out on my skin to see what happens, because sometimes our hypotheses can be wrong. Experiences, even if anecdotal, can correct us. And I'd like to see what this product actually does, because the ingredients aren't half bad. The ingredients look halfway decent, with niacinamide, tetrapeptide 4, and glycerin. It's just the scammy marketing around it that's questionable. Now, it is important to point out that this does also have denatured alcohol. A lot of people freak out about this in skincare. It's not detrimental, it just evaporates off the skin. And if you have dry skin or a damaged skin barrier, it might not be the best. This also has PVP, which is a very interesting addition. This is what we see in Nikki Tutorials' line. This is what we see in more makeup setting sprays. And so I'm assuming that this product is going to give the skin a nice finish, but it's not because it's excellent skincare. It's because it's kind of a makeup hybrid product, which, seeing as Item Beauty sells makeup and skincare, it makes sense. And when I was shopping for this at Sephora, oh, the reviews were brutal. The reviews were interesting. About 2 weeks ago, when this all first started happening, the reviews were all 5 stars, and it was lots of people who were gifted the item for free to give a review. Now, that's fine if people are doing it authentically, but the problem is that there are some scammy doings where people get the item sent for free, and then they're incentivized to fabricate their experience to try to say that it was better than it was so that they get more free product. But as of the last 4 days, since I decided to bite the bullet and spend my $21 and something cents for tax on this, ooh, the reviews are brutal. Now, I don't even know if these are people who are purchasing the product, but they're giving them 1 star, and they're literally calling Addison out and saying, there's no science behind this. Like, what are you talking about? But again, I don't think Addison knows, and she hasn't come out with a statement about it. And depending on who's formulating the product, does that person know? Does Ipsy know? I know that there's someone along the line, whether it's formulator, chemist, manufacturer, distributor, supplier, promoter. There is someone in this chain of command who's aware of it, but I don't know which link it is. And the fact that it continues to happen is what's most concerning. Now, the people who are behind this, and Addison Rae herself, like, you must be either tone deaf, not looking at the comments, or just trying to avoid the PR publicity drama. Nothing has been said about this, and you would think that so quickly after Valkyrae willingly stepped down from her own line that she seemingly worked very hard on that was all around blue light, literally a month after that, this happens. Either someone's not paying attention, or someone is just hoping that because it's an influencer product that people are gonna look at it and be like, another influencer, another scam. And you know, that we just have this expectations that influencers are going to sell us shitty marketing claims on skincare and then go back to shilling NFTs. Like, I don't know why it is so accepted for influencers to promote or back scammy products, and why certain influencers seem to be able to get away with it over and over and over again. I personally and firmly believe that there is such thing as having a negative influence, as well as a positive influence. I've had many positive and negative influences throughout my life. And therefore, I also think that there's such thing as a positive influencer as well as a negative influencer. But unfortunately, I think it's the negative influencers who get the headlines. They get the videos of the dead bodies hanging in the forests with the trees. They are the ones who are lighting things on fire, and the ones who are making the biggest stir, the ones who are the most controversial, get spoken about the most. And unfortunately, that leads us to seeing another influencer ripping off their young fans with another gambling gaming app, and people just sit there and they shrug and they're like, digital influencers are scamming again. Phil DeFranco did an interesting video that you should watch unless you want to get punched in the throat, where he explained his thoughts and rationale behind this. He was saying that perhaps Valkyrae has more of a moral compass and her fans expect more of her, and Addison Rae, having a primary platform of TikTok and having followers that are mainly Gen Z, that younger age demographic might just not know better and might not be fact-checking things and therefore believing what she or what anyone else says. And when it comes to this situation and Addison Rae, in my opinion, I don't think Addison Rae knows better. She's beautiful, she's talented, some of the items in the Item Beauty lineup are really great, but we even reacted to her skincare routine, and her skincare routine wasn't the absolute best, and it wasn't revolutionary, and I genuinely don't think that she knows or understands the ins and outs of skincare the way a cosmetic chemist or dermatologist would. And how would she? She's not a chemist or dermatologist by trade. But therefore, when fans call her out, or when people start to see these scams pop up in the industry, I think it's very important for influencers to actually listen, to ask those questions of the people that she's considering a partner and say, hey, what exactly is going on here? Please show me. Please get me someone who can explain this to me. Because at the end of the day, this is my reputation that I'm putting on the line. And some people, specifically influencers, care more about their reputation, and some care more about money. And that's why protecting the consumer is so important to me, because I was that 16-year-old girl who spent every single paycheck at Sephora trying to get something that cleared my acne, just to buy product after product after product that didn't work. And now, as the acne big sister, it's literally my goal and my mission to help people understand skin. Not just how to make it look glowy and make it look pretty and cute, but how the biology of our beauty actually works, and why the anatomy of what's happening both on and in our faces is so fucking fascinating, and why our entire worlds are built on chemistry and biology and anatomy, and how insanely beautiful those things truly are. I almost feel like Addison Rae is being taken advantage of a little bit as well. Now, she is making tons of money on this, so how much can you really be taken advantage of if you're raking in the cash? Whereas Valkyrae at least isn't getting any kickback after speaking up against her own project, but to each his own, and that's how I see it. So what's gonna happen? Well, I am going to try this. I don't know if she's going to officially address it, and I feel like it's very quiet right now, and they might just kind of keep it that way in hopes that this is going to blow under the radar and people will just shrug their shoulders and be like, oh, another influencer put their face on a product line, and you know, now they're just gonna go back to selling NFTs, and we're all just expected to be okay with that. Well, let's put this on the face, and let's put our faith in the science behind skincare and behind the ingredients to actually see how they work. And if you want some stuff that actually protects against blue light, here are some of my favorite antioxidant products, which arguably do the exact same thing as this, only for a less price and with better ingredients. And right here are some sunscreens and products that actually protect against blue light. But be careful, because these are pasty. Always remember to be beautiful inside and out. Be a critic and a skeptic, and be aware and afraid of influencer scams. And remember to stay hydrated, my friends. I'll see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.